Red Flame Green Dream. Chapter 1 Dream Shattering Body. It was raining heavily at night, and the Beijing Workers' Stadium was full. The national team played against the South Korean team, and the score stayed at 0-3, but there were still hoarse shouts in the audience. A young man named Lin Ye was holding a dilapidated national flag with tears in his eyes. His dream since he was a child is to see the national football team stand on top of the world. But every hope is a cruel disappointment. The final whistle blew, and the players were dejected. Korean fans waved flags and mocked wantonly. Lin Ye suddenly felt hot in his chest, as if some ancient power was awakening in his blood. It can't be like this anymore. He muttered to himself, but he didn't notice that a bronze shadow was quietly emerging behind him. Chapter 2 The Bronze General Soul. That night, Lin Ye fell into an ancient battlefield in his dream. War drums thundered, iron armor was dense, and a general covered in armor stood in the sea of blood. My name is Marquis Xian. The general's voice was like thunder, shaking Lin Ye's heart. In the past, I led my cavalry to conquer the lands. Now, seeing China reduced to a laughingstock, I cannot accept this. Lin Ye asked in a trembling voice, Who are you? Why have you come to me? Marquis Xian laughed heartily, Because you have a fire in your heart. Since the world has become numb, only you can carry on my aspirations. In the eyes of the soul, the ancient flames burned. I want to help you reshape China's feet and make the world bow its head. Chapter 3 The Beginning of the Shady Scene. When he woke up in the morning, Lin Ye still felt a burning sensation all over his body. He walked out of the rental house and saw the newspaper headline, The Football Association is in another corruption scandal. The news writes that some high-level secret operations are carried out, and the selection is based on favors. Lin Ye's heart was filled with anger, and the whisper of the Red Flame Marquis sounded in his mind, How can such cartilage fight? That night, Lin Ye practiced alone on the court. He was surprised to find that his ball control at his feet suddenly increased, and his shot was like flames piercing the night sky. The Red Flame Marquis said coldly, This is just the beginning. Chapter 4 Street Battles. One day, a group of amateur teams competed at the entrance of the alley. Lin Ye participated casually, but he was like a god on the field, dribbling and breaking through, passing 5 people in a row, and the last volley made the net tremble. The audience was in an uproar, and someone exclaimed, This kid, why does he kick like an alien? And the boss of the Jingba youth team Gong Ye at the same scene was pale. He was originally the overlord of the local stadium, but now he has been stolen by an unknown person. At the end of the game, Gong Ye led people to block Lin Ye. However, Lin Ye's eyes were cold, and the shadow of the Red Flame Marquis faintly appeared, and Gong Ye was shocked to the point of being terrified and did not dare to step forward. Chapter 5 Mysterious Coach. A few days later, a gray-haired old man came to the door. He called himself Chen Yinzhou, and he was a genius midfielder who stayed in Europe in the 80s, but he disappeared for some reason. Boy, your ball sense. It doesn't belong to this era. His tone was calm, but his eyes were shining. Come with me, I'll teach you real football. Lin Ye was skeptical, but under Chen Yinzhou's training, he continued to break through his limits. The Red Flame Marquis looked on coldly, and suddenly smiled, This old man has a bit of a trick. Chapter 6 Secret Club. Chen Yinzhou took him into an underground club, Suantai Alliance, where a group of strange people who were rejected by the formal system gathered. Some are goalkeepers who retired due to shady practices in the Football Association, some are folklore street ball kings, and even foreign mysterious people. Everyone has the same dream, to make Chinese football truly awaken. Lin Ye continued to grow here, and his presence gradually attracted more attention. Chapter 7 The Threat of the Football Association. Within the Football Association, some senior executives are wary of Lin Ye's name. This person must not enter the national team. Only our people are qualified. As a result, a ban on Lin Ye quietly began. News smears, game bans, and even threats to Chen Yinzhou. Lin Ye was angry, but was suppressed by the red flame marquee. Don't worry, the time has not come. The real enemy is not just them. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 8 The International Invitational Tournament. At this time, an international youth invitational tournament swept through Asia. The Suantai Alliance secretly signed up for Lin Ye and participated as an unknown team. In the first game against the Japanese youth training, Lin Ye played a shocking ball under the attention of thousands of people. He broke through like lightning and finally barbed into the net, causing a sensation in the audience. The Japanese coach was shocked. This is not Chinese football. This is the top technology in Europe. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 9 Bloody Battle of Korea. In the second match against the South Korean team, the action on the field was fierce, and Lin Ye was shoveled to the ground several times. The audience roared angrily, but the referee looked on coldly. At the last moment, Lin Ye's ankle was swollen like a drum, but he stood up reluctantly. The red flame marquee roared inside him, fight. Lin Ye suddenly broke out, rushed past the three with the ball, pushed hard, and the ball exploded into the goal like a fireball. 1-0. The Chinese amateur team defeated the Korean elite. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 10 The Giant Shadow Emerges. The game is over, and the audience is crazy. However, when Lin Ye looked up at the sky, he saw a huge black shadow suspended above the clouds. It was like an alien battleship, with a flash of silver light. The red flame marquee's voice was low, it's here. The real opponent is not on the ground. Lin Ye's heart trembled, and he faintly felt that this football dream would affect not only the stadium, but also the fate of the entire world. Chapter 11 Overseas Storm. The news of the Youth Invitational Tournament quickly spread all over the world. The media in Spain, England, and Brazil are all exclaiming, China, a monster-like young man has appeared. Many European clubs sent invitations, but the Football Association immediately issued a statement, Lin Ye is not a player of the national team system and is not representative. As soon as this statement came out, the fans were outraged. This is not representativeness. This is hope. The nickname Flame Fire spread on the internet, and countless people regarded him as the light of the nation. At night, Lin Ye looked at the comments on the screen, feeling both excited and heavy. The red flame marquee laughed in his body, the fire has been ignited, but whether you can burn through the dark curtain is up to you. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 12 The Hidden Opponent. The secret stronghold of the Suantetsu Alliance was attacked by unknown forces. A group of men in black broke in armed and destroyed the training ground. Chen Yinzhou fell to the ground seriously injured, and grabbed Lin Ye's hand before he died, remember. The real opponent? It's not. On the field. His eyes were empty, but he left unfinished words. Lin Ye's chest hurt sharply, and the shadow of the red flame marquee surged in the night. Someone, I don't want you to rise. Soon after, news came, the International Football League's internal motion was to ban Lin Ye on the grounds of illegal participation. Behind the scenes is the collusion between some major countries and their own football associations. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 13 The Call of Brazil. A mysterious invitation letter was sent to Lin Ye. From Brazil, the mecca of samba football. Come on, young man. If you dare to challenge the true green soul, go to Rio. Lin Ye decided to go. At the airport, he was seen off for the first time by hundreds of fans who sang the national anthem, waved red flags, and burst into tears. At this moment, Lin Ye understood, he was no longer just himself, but a carrier of dreams. The red flame marquee whispered, okay, take me to another battlefield. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 14 Rio Night Battle. Arriving in Brazil, Lin Ye was immediately thrown into a street football competition. There are no rules, no referees, just blood and sweat. The opponent is Brazilian streetball legend Carlos Azu, known as the Rio Phantom. His dribbling was like a dance, and his posture was weird, and even made Lin Ye unable to touch the ball for a while. The red flame marquee roared in his body, "What are you afraid of? This is the battlefield." Lin Ye suddenly calmed down, gave up the traditional style of play, and began to touch the ball with his body and soul. In the end, he shattered Carlos' phantom with a drifting volley. The Brazilian audience shouted wildly, "Flame! Flame! Underscore 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 un. Chapter 15 The Eyes of the World. This game was broadcast all over the world through live webcast. European media shockingly reported, Chinese players are challenging the world with an incredible attitude. But at the same time, FIFA has accelerated the pace of bans. A secret order was signed. Lin Ye was banned from participating in any official competitions. After Lin Ye learned the news, his face turned gloomy. The red flame marquee said coldly, "If the rules of the world stop you, it will be destroyed." At night, Lin Ye looked up at the starry sky on Rio Beach, but suddenly saw the huge black shadow flashing again above the clouds. This time, he heard a low voice, "The football of the earth will be taken over by us." Underscore 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 un. Chapter 16 Alien Declaration. A few days later, the world was shocked to hear the shocking news. A global signal was inserted into all television and networks by unknown forces. Your game is too inferior. The football civilization of the universe will replace you. In the picture, there are aliens in silver armor who call themselves the Gross Alliance. They declared, in 3 years, the Earth will participate in the star football competition. If defeated, the entire planet will be reduced to slavery. The whole world is in a panic. Some laughed and did not believe, and some wept and prayed. Only Lin Ye, his eyes were unprecedentedly firm. So. This is fate. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 17 Earth's Choice. The United Nations held an emergency meeting, and countries argued endlessly. Who will represent the Earth? The United States? Brazil? Germany? China? After much debate, in the end, the Gross Alliance directly lowered the rule, "We will choose the candidates of the Earth. It's not you who choose, but we choose." A pillar of light fell from the sky, pointing directly at Lin Ye. The live broadcast camera of the world is frozen on his body. He became the Earth's choice. The domestic network exploded, and fans cried, "This is fate." And the senior management of the Football Association had a pale face and gritted his teeth, "Why is it him?" Underscore 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 un. Chapter 18 Devil's Training. The Gross League established a training ground on the moon. Lin Ye received devilish training with talented players from all over the world. A field 10 times the gravity, a mechanical goalkeeper who can predict thinking, and even a defender who simulates alien behemoths. Lin Ye was knocked away again and again, and his flesh and blood were blurred. The red flame marquee roared in his body, "Stand up. There is no way out on the battlefield." Every time he fell, he got back up. The other players gradually became in awe. Someone said, "This young man from China is like an unquenchable fire." Underscore 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 un. Chapter 19 The Shadow of Betrayal. However, on the training ground, not everyone wanted Lin Ye to succeed. An American player Blackson secretly colluded with aliens in a vain attempt to gain personal glory. He deliberately shoveled Lin Ye several times in the game, and even secretly poisoned him. Lin Ye almost died, but fortunately, the red flame marquee protected his heart with his soul power. Boy, remember, the enemy is not only on the field, but also in the hearts of the people. Lin Ye endured his killing intent and looked at Blackson coldly. "When the game comes, I will let you have nowhere to escape." Underscore 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 un. Chapter 20 The Oath of Flame. The day of the decisive battle 3 years later is finally approaching. Lin Ye stood in front of the local team's base camp, and billions of people watched him through the screen. He raised his hands high and roared like thunder, "We are not fighting for glory, but not for slavery. I want the whole universe to remember that there is a fire here, and it is called Chinese football." The red flame marquee roared inside him, overlapping with his voice. The whole world was shocked and the fans burst into tears. The horn of the decisive battle finally sounded. Chapter 21 The Stargate opens. The huge silver ring swirls above the moon, its light pouring down like a waterfall. This is the Stargate of the Grass Alliance, leading to countless arenas in the universe. The Earth team stepped into it, and the scene in front of them instantly flipped. They landed in a boundless sea of stars grassland, the grass blades were like silver, and the goal was like a tower towering into the sky. Linya took a deep breath. The red flame marquis whispered, "Boy, this is not the Earth you are familiar with, everything here will swallow you." Underscore 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 un. Chapter 22 Black Hole Stadium. The venue of the first game was actually a stadium suspended on the edge of a black hole. Gravity pulls constantly, and the sphere twists its trajectory over time. The opponent is the Oryx Star clan, whose body is like a rock and strong enough to crush steel. The whistle sounded, and the ground team was instantly suppressed. Blackson sneered on the court, pretending to defend, but secretly released water. Linya noticed something was wrong and suddenly kicked the ball into the gravitational fault, and the ball trajectory was suddenly refracted and went straight into the goal. The audience was shocked. Earth actually broke the goal in the first game of the interstellar game. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 23 The Giant Beast Goalkeeper. In the second game, the opponent is from the Terra Beasts. They did not have a goalkeeper, but a behemoth 20 meters tall, with 6 eyes flashing red and hands like mountains. No matter how you shoot, the ball is slapped away. The team members collapsed and looked at Linya desperately. Linya closed his eyes and heard the red flame marquis whispering, "Don't look at the ball, look at its heartbeat." In the next moment, he picked up the ball with the top of his foot, rebounded with the help of gravity, and smashed directly into the mouth of the giant beast, rolling into the door from his throat. The audience roared, and the judges exclaimed, "Unprecedented goal." Underscore 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 un. Chapter 24 Rift Storm. In the third game, the sky was constantly torn apart, and the wind was strong enough to blow people away. Once the ball is off the foot, it will be swept away by the wind. The opponent Windmark tribe seemed to be one with the wind, they ran like shadows and passed the ball like an illusion. The ground team was overwhelmed to breathe. At the critical moment, Linya suddenly lifted the ball high, letting it be swept away by the wind. The next moment, he leaped into the storm, his figure like a meteor, and smashed the ball into the goal. He defeated the wind with its power. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 25 Blackson's Trap. The local team won consecutive victories, but it attracted countless jealousy and conspiracies. Blackson secretly colluded with the alien judges to maliciously shovel Linya during the competition. Linya's knees were bleeding, and the doctor judged that he could no longer play. The whole world fell into despair, and fans cried, "We can't live without him." The red flame marquis sneered, "Boy, do you want to lie down?" Linya gritted his teeth, tied his knees with thick bandages, and whispered to his teammates, "Even if I only have one leg, I still want to stand on the field." Underscore 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 un. Chapter 26 Bloody Battle with the Ironclad. The body of the Ironclad tribe is like steel, and it can knock people tens of meters away during the collision. Linya was in severe pain with every step, but he still ran desperately. In a scramble, he was directly knocked away, rolling several times and covered in blood. The audience held their breath, thinking he couldn't get up. However, he stood up again, his eyes burning with crimson flames. The red flame marquis roared, "Blood can be shed out, but dreams cannot be extinguished." In the last minute, he volleyed with one leg, and the ball turned into a flaming meteor that penetrated the Ironclad clan's defense. The ground team narrowly won. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 27 The Illusion Mystery. In the seventh game, the stadium was shrouded in illusions. The spectators, teammates, and goals are constantly changing. The ground team was completely disoriented and all the passes were missed. Linya suddenly stopped and closed his eyes. He listens to the breath of the ball with his heart and sees the real with his soul. The illusion gradually peeled off in his eyes, and he saw the only real goal. He shouted, "Follow me." The teammates finally found their way and broke through the illusion under his guidance to complete the reversal. Chapter 28 Star Judgment. The victory of the local team attracted dissatisfaction from the Gross League. The judges proposed the star ruling: if Linya can kick the ball and hit 20 meteorites in the air within 10 seconds, the ground team will retain the qualifications. If it fails, it will be eliminated directly. The world held its breath. Linya closed his eyes, and the red flame marquee melted into his body. Within 10 seconds, he was like a burning meteor, volleying continuously. 20 meteorites exploded at the same time in the starry sky, shining for thousands of miles. The judges were silent, and the audience was sensational. Chapter 29 The Awakening of Teammates. In the game again and again, teammates no longer relied on Linya. Han Yi completed the upside-down golden hook in the zero-gravity field, Amir held on until the last moment in the poisonous fog field, and Fabio completed the assist at the cost of his heart almost bursting. The ground team is no longer one person, but a real team. Linya looked at them, tears welling up in the corners of his eyes. It turns out that dreams are not a person's fire, but a sea of light. Chapter 30 The Showdown at the Gate of the Stars. Finally, the last game of the group stage. The opponent is the Star Army from the Grass Alliance itself. They are lightning fast and have the power to shatter planets. The arena is a star gate suspended above the sea of stars and fire. Once the ball falls, it will fall into flames. At the beginning of the game, the ground team was suppressed across the board. The red flame mark on Lin Yi's chest began to burn, and he understood, this victory or defeat will determine whether the Earth can enter the final knockout round. He looked up at the sky and muttered softly, "Chinese football will never fall." Chapter 31 The Trial of the Dark Nebula. The first match of the knockout round was scheduled to be played in the Dark Nebula. There was no light, no sound, and even breathing seemed to be choked by an invisible hand. The only thing that can be recognized is the cold glowing cord under his feet. The opponent was the Netherworld. They were like fish in water in the dark, moving incredibly fast. The ground team members' eyes were pitch black, and they couldn't even see each other's shadows clearly. The moment the whistle sounded, the ball had already been taken away by the Netherworld. "Listen!" Linya roared. He closed his eyes, used his ears to catch the airflow, and used his feet to feel the vibration of the turf. He suddenly stretched out his leg, made a precise interception, and snatched the ball back. The teammates woke up and began to follow suit, relying on sounds, touches, and heartbeats to find their way. At the last moment, Linya dribbled the ball to the goal. He raised his foot and shot. The ball cut through the darkness, like a red flame, and smashed into the net. The audience roared, and the darkness was instantly lit up. In this battle, they won their faith. Chapter 32 Mirror Court. The court for the next game is like an endless mirror. Hundreds of illusions will appear in each player's figure, making it difficult to distinguish between true and false. The opponent is the Mirror Spirit Clan, who can use mirror images to make you unable to tell who is real. After the start of the game, the ground team was in chaos. The ball was taken away several times, and the score fell behind all the way. Lin Yi's heart beat violently, and he suddenly calmed down and stared at the mirror reflection on the ground. "False, there is no breathing, really, it will tremble," he whispered, suddenly snatched it, and kicked it straight. The ball penetrated the illusion and landed accurately at Han Yi's feet. Han Yi roared angrily and volleyed the goal. The team gradually found a way to crack it, and the score was tied. At the last moment, Linya faced hundreds of enemy phantoms. He closed his eyes and kicked the ball into the only breathing shadow. The mirror collapses, and the ground team wins. Chapter 33 The Showdown of the Frozen Planet. The venue of this game is a planet covered with thick ice. The temperature is as low as -100 degrees, and the lungs are cut like a knife during breathing. The surface of the course is as smooth as a mirror, and if you are not careful, you will slip. The opponent Frost Clan moves freely and can even spin at high speed on the ice. The ground team members fell one after another and were embarrassed. Lin Yi's legs were even more painful due to old injuries, and every time he landed, it was like a bone cracking. The red flame marquee roared in his body, "Are you afraid of the cold? No, you are fire." Lenya roared, and the red flames under his feet ignited, instantly melting the ice into a fire mark. The teammates ran after the fire marks, as if they were walking on a road paved with flames. In the end, Lenya used a flame volley to break through the ice wall of the Frost clan. The collision of ice and fire resulted in a stunning victory. Chapter 34 The True Face of the Betrayer. Blackson's conspiracy finally broke out. He deliberately kicked an own goal during the game, resulting in a near reversal of the score. The audience was in an uproar, and the world was outraged. Lenya was furious and asked in public after the game, "Are you still not an Earthling?" Blackson sneered, tearing open his jersey with the Gross League crest on his chest. "I have already chosen the stronger side. You are ants." The ground team is in chaos, and his teammates call him a traitor. Lenya looked at him coldly, his eyes like burning flames. "You can betray us, but you can't betray the dream of this land." Chapter 35 Bloody Sandstorm Field. The Gross League deliberately arranged a knockout playoff to test the local team. The venue is an endless sea of sand, and the wind rolls up the sand wall. The ball was blown around, completely obscuring the view. The opponent's sand scorpion can sneak in the sand, emerge from the ground unguardedly, and shoot the ball. Less than 10 minutes into the game, the local team was 2 goals behind. Lenya was deeply caught in a sandstorm, and his eyes were almost blinded by sand and stones. The red flame marquee roared in his body, "Boy, let the fire swallow this sand." Lenya looked up to the sky and roared, red flames ignited under his feet, the sandstorm was instantly lit, and he became a lighthouse in the storm. His teammates followed his fire and finally completed a shocking reversal. Fans cried, "This is the fire of the earth." Chapter 36 The Undead Team. The game suddenly entered the treacherous. The venue was empty, but the opponent was late. When night falls, the opponent finally appears, a team of the undead. Their bodies are translucent, their footsteps are silent, and their shooting power is amazing. Whenever a local team falls, the undead will emerge from their shadows and take away their power. The game entered a desperate situation, and Lenya was the only one left in the local team who could still stand. He was covered in blood and his eyes were crazy. "I want to win alone." At the last moment, he roared up to the sky, and the red flame marquee completely merged with him, and his whole body burned into a body of flames. He crossed the undead alone and slammed the last ball into the goal. The wails of the dead dissipate, and the stadium returns to quiet. Chapter 37 Global Prayer. The battle situation of the local team spread all over the world. In Beijing, New York, Rio, Paris. Countless people gathered in front of the big screen, folding their hands in prayer. The child held a simple football and imitated Lin Yi's movements in the mud. The old man whispered with tears, "In our life, we may really see miracles." Lin Yi was in the interstellar arena, and his heart suddenly became hot. The red flame marquee smiled deeply, "This is the fire of the human heart. You are not alone." Chapter 38 Death Penalty. The Gross League has set the most cruel rule: if the game is tied, a death penalty will be played. With each shot missed, the shooter will be swallowed up by energy and disappear. The ground team drew with the Rift clan and was forced to go to the death penalty. The team members were pale and did not dare to step forward. Lin Yi walked to the penalty spot, his eyes cold. On the first kick, he hit it steadily. With the second kick, Han Yi trembled and shot, but was saved, and his figure instantly turned into light and dust. The audience burst into tears. Lin Yi looked up to the sky and roared, hit 3 times in a row, and finally won the game. But he fell to his knees, tears mixed with blood dripping onto the turf. Chapter 39 The Backlash of the Red Flame. Burning again and again, the power of the red flame marquee began to get out of control. Lenya had cracks in his body, and every time he ran, it was like 1,000 arrows piercing his heart. In his dream, he saw the red flame marquee transform into a giant beast, baring its teeth and claws, trying to seize his body. Boy, you can't bear all of me. Either assimilate with me or die. Lenya woke up, covered in cold sweat. He looked at the starry sky in the distance, his eyes resolute. No matter what you are, I will take you to win the last game. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 40 The Horn of Decisive Battle. At the end of the knockout round, the local team actually entered the final battle. The Gross Alliance announced the final opponent, Star Army, Origin Team, the strongest in the universe and has never been defeated. The final venue is the Temple of the Stars suspended in the center of the galaxy, surrounded by countless planets, and the starlight is like a sword. It will be the final battle that will determine the fate of the planet. Lenya and his teammates stood on the edge of the court, looking at the vast Milky Way. He slowly raised his hand and pointed to the sky. We fight for the dream of mankind. The horn sounded, the stars shook, and the curtain of the battle finally began. Chapter 41 The War of the Star Temple. In the depths of the galaxy, the Temple of the Stars was like a floating crystal palace, shining brightly, illuminating the entire competition field. The finals officially began, and the ground team stood side by side with the Star Army and Origin team. There was tension and excitement in every player's eyes, and the red flame mark on Lin Yi's chest shone like the sun burning. The Star Army players were tall and their energy aura flashed, and every time they touched the ball, they could raise stardust. At the beginning of the game, the local team was suppressed by the opponent to the midfield and could hardly control the ball. Lenya took a deep breath, and the red flame marquee whispered, "Boy, don't just look at the ball, look at the other person's heart." He suddenly rushed out like a meteor, broke through the opponent's two guards, and made a long pass at his feet. Han Yi hung a golden hook upside down in the air, and the ball hit the cosmic crystal and catapulted into the net. The audience cheered explosively, and the ground team scored for the first time in front of the Star Army. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 42 Blake Eason's Breakup. In the middle of the game, Blackson suddenly fell to the ground. The alien crest on his chest suddenly flashed, like a signal. It turned out that he secretly contacted the Star Army and planned to betray the local team at a critical moment. Lenya noticed something was wrong and immediately passed the ball to his teammates to avoid being intercepted by Blackson. Blackson was furious and roared, "Do you think you can stop me?" He leaped up, and the energy burst was enough to shatter the court. Lenya stepped forward, and the red flames burned to the limit, leaving red fire marks under his feet. The two forces collided in the air, emitting dazzling light and even affecting the balance of the entire Star Temple. Blackson was shocked, the court was suddenly quiet, and his teammates were shocked, but they also trusted Lenya even more. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 43 Starry Sky Illusion. In the second half of the game, the Star Army cast the Starry Sky Illusion. The stadium turned into countless parallel scenes overlapping, and the goal, teammates and enemies were constantly deformed, making it impossible to distinguish the real thing. Lenya closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and the voice of the red flame marquee roared in his body, "Faith is your eyes." He listened carefully to his breathing, felt the rhythm of each player on the ground, and gradually recognized the real goal and the position of the ball. Shooting again and again, the ball crosses the fantasy world, and teammates work together. Han Yi, Amir, and Fabio assisted consecutively, finally breaking through the defense line of the fantasy realm, and the score was tied. The audience held their breath, and no one dared to blink. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 44 Extreme Fusion. Lenya felt that the power of the red flame marquee was devouring his body, and the veins seemed to be about to break. "You can't control me, I want to burn with you," he roared. The red flame marquee and Lenya were completely integrated, the whole person was like a body of flames, and the whole body was shining brightly, enough to illuminate the entire star field. With every touch, the flames beneath his feet transformed the pitch into a burning river. The Star Army players were suppressed, but they still refused to give in, and their strength became more and more fierce. Lenya rushed towards the enemy formation with his teammates, the pillar of flame light soared straight into the sky, the entire temple shook, and the light surrounding the planets seemed to burn for him. Underscore 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 on. Chapter 45 The Last Ball of the Universe. The score was tied with 5 seconds remaining. The ball floats in mid-air, like time stops. The world held its breath, and billions of people watched Lin Ye through the live broadcast. He closed his eyes, and the red flames engulfed his whole body, as if the dreams of the entire earth were condensed in him. For China, for mankind, burn. He volleyed with one leg, and the ball arced beautifully, crossed the star defense line, and hit the center of the floating goal. Boom, the light exploded, the stars vibrated, and the entire galaxy trembled. The score was fixed, and the local team won. Blackson fell to his knees, unable to believe it, and his betrayal was completely nullified. Lin Ye knelt on the ground, and his figure was gradually turned into a meteor by the red flames, dissipating into the galaxy. Underscore 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 on. Chapter 46 The Galaxy Dissipates. After the victory, Lin Ye's figure disappeared like a meteor. The soul of the red flame marquee also turned into silver light. The ground team members fell to their knees, unable to believe this scene. Fans around the world cried and cheered, "This is the most shocking moment in human history." In the sky, countless stars fell like rain, as if blessing this dream. People understand that at this moment, the fate of football on Earth changes completely. Underscore 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 on. Chapter 47 The Blessing of the World. The ground team returned to Earth and was welcomed like never before. Beijing, Shanghai, New York, Rio. The streets were flooded with fans, and red flags and applause were like a sea. FIFA officials were forced to publicly acknowledge Lin Ye's victory and the strength of the local team. They said, "Earth football, it's different from now on." Although Lin Ye has dissipated, his teammates have begun to inherit his spirit. Every player has a fire in their hearts, burning with a dream like a red flame. Underscore 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 on. Chapter 48 Blackson's Confession. Blackson returned to Earth and shed tears in the face of his teammates' questions. "I was wrong, I betrayed my beliefs." Although Lin Ye was no longer there, the flame of red flame shone in everyone's hearts, and his power became an indelible belief. Blackson rejoins the Earth team and vows to defend the glory of the Earth. Fans around the world shed tears again, and they saw that even if they betrayed, they could be influenced by faith. Underscore 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 on. Chapter 49 The Awakening of a New Generation. Many years later, Lin Ye's story was told by countless people. New teen players imitate his movements at school, on the field, on the streets, learn his spirit. Earth football is gradually rising, from the grassroots to the national team, every player carries the soul of the red flame. In youth leagues and international competitions, local teams have broken through themselves again and again to rewrite the history of football. Lin Ye's legend became the belief of mankind. Underscore 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 on. Chapter 50 The Eternity of Red Flames and Greenery. The soul of the red flame marquee has been completely integrated into the bloodline of everyone in the ground team. Although Lin Ye disappeared, his spirit lived on like a flame. Whenever a player scores a wonderful goal on the pitch, the audience will always see a touch of red light and shadow, like a meteor streaking across the night sky. People whispered, "That's the soul of the streamer, still guarding our dreams." Chinese football has finally ushered in a new era. The red flame green dream burns into eternity.